everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing day. Yes, my Sunday musing is outside, but it's not outside. I did that for the chicken and garden update, which I filmed before having lunch, and now I'm dry and warm. I'm tempted to stay in this lovely warm truck and film the Sunday musing here. Also, it is so cold outside. According to my truck, it is 5 degrees Celsius, so it's a few degrees warmer than I thought it was earlier, but it's 5 degrees Celsius, and it is so cold that my GoPro 8, which is what I'm using to film the Sunday musing, because the GoPro 9s are busy doing other things, has run out of power, and I'm having to power it from my truck. Let me show you right here. See, it is plugged in because the power is so low. The other thing I want to show you, because a lot of people are asking about it, is this is now the functional intelligent power backup running our home. We're running a couple of heaters in the garage, and we're using 3.2 kilowatts of 9.6 kilowatt available. Obviously, those resistive heaters are not very efficient, but at a push, they would certainly keep your home warm and safe and dry. It also tells me, or it normally does, it tells me how many hours of backup power I have. I don't know why it's not doing it now. Who knows? I think it sometimes does that if the truck is on, and software is special like that, so let's not dwell too much on that particular topic. But it is transferring power to the house right now. It's a bit weird, that system. I think there are still some bugs and kinks that need to be figured out. But there is a reason why I'm in this truck today, other than the rain. And that is that I was watching YouTube midweek, as you do, and I saw a video from someone who was posting an F-150 tutorial, F-150 Lightning tutorial, namely how to disconnect the telematics module from your Ford F-150 Lightning so that your truck couldn't tattle on you, so that there was no connection back to the Ford mothership. Now, personally, I think that is a very misguided decision, because one of the cool things about owning a modern electric car, whether it's something like the Ford F-150 Lightning or Tesla or any other number of electric cars that are coming to market today, is that ability to have over-the-air software updates. And this week we got 2 very important over-the-air software updates, or rather in the last week we've had actually 3 very important software updates. So the last one happened earlier this week. We got phone as a key, which means I can now get into the truck and start it just because I have my phone in my pocket, or rather in this case, in the center console. As long as I have my phone with me, I can get in, I can start the truck, I can drive away. I don't need to take the keys with me, which should be very useful. If I'm doing a walk with the dogs and I don't want to take my big bulky keys with me, I can just leave them at home, and I have one less thing to carry. Now, I must admit, going off on a bit of a tangent here, having phone as a key is fine, unless your phone stops working or runs out of power, or there's an issue with the truck. And there are backup codes, so you can gain entry to the truck using the backup code, and then you can start the truck using your other backup code. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much I would trust that system over a good old-fashioned key. So maybe I will, maybe I won't take it with me. But anyway, back to this video. This guy was talking about removing the telematics module so that there was no kind of snooping that was going on behalf of Ford. Now, I haven't reached out to Ford's PR department. I don't know if Ford snoops on its customers. I do know, though, that automakers do keep hold of data pertaining to customers' electric vehicles. So, for example, if there is a problem with your car's battery pack, Tesla will reach out and tell you. The same thing is true if you have a battery problem with your Chevrolet Bolt EV or other vehicles. I think Ford does it as well. If there's an issue detected with your car, you get an email about it. And that can actually, from a beneficial point of view, I feel that can be a good thing, because it can help you ensure that your vehicle stays well maintained. I know people who drive gasoline cars, who have had warnings sent to them by their car's telematics system when, for example, someone was running up the road slashing everyone's tyres. They knew about it. They got a message saying all your tyres have gone, you know, they're all low pressure, and it actually enabled them to be prepared to come back to a car that had had all of its tyres slashed, as opposed to everyone else who just kind of walked back and found their car's tyres were slashed. But I'm curious if you trust automakers with your car's data. For example, do you trust that your automaker is not going to tattle on you if you exceed the speed limit, or if you drive in a reckless manner? We already have insurance companies offering the ability to link your internet connected car with your insurance account. Ford does it, Tesla does it, other companies do it. Basically, those insurance companies gain access to where you drive and how you drive and what time of day you've been driving, and then uses that data to give you a more accurate risk assessment as to your likelihood that you're going to get in an accident, for example. And I'm curious as to if you are okay with that, or if you would rather that you did have the option to pull your data SIM and not have your car connected to the cloud. I know lots of people who don't opt for services that allow your car to connect to the cloud. I know several people with OnStar vehicles that don't use OnStar at all. And one of the reasons they chose not to do that is so that the car company is not kind of checking in on you remotely. And it has got me thinking, is this something that I'm just missing completely? Am I oblivious to the fact that, you know, all this data could be used against me in the future? Is it a cybersecurity risk? Well, anything online is a cybersecurity risk, right? And I'm very protective about my data normally. So I don't use a cloud-based system for my home security system. I keep everything local. I don't use online storage systems to store important data. I keep a backup locally here at the house, and then I have other ways of ensuring that data persists, but I tend not to use large cloud storage facilities a whole amount. Although, you know, the super important stuff, yes, I have a secure online storage facility, but I would love to know how you feel about your car connecting to the mothership, as it were, and telling your automaker all about what you've been doing, where you've been going, how fast you've been driving, how you've been charging. I mean, for example, is there a point in the future at which an automaker turns around and tells you, I'm sorry, we're not going to honour that warranty because you drove your car empty? And then, you know, you drove it to zero and you pushed the car to its absolute limits, and you've done that persistently, and therefore we're not going to honour that warranty. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. This one is definitely a bit of a head scratcher because I can see the benefit of a smart car, of a grid connected car, but also, you know, I can see the downsides. One of the upsides, obviously, is things like this, being able to have the system tell me exactly how much power I'm using, how much energy is going back to the house, and how long my battery will last. Okay, so I mean that's a knock-on effect of this car being able to communicate with the world around me, because this system makes use of Bluetooth, it makes use of connections between the charging station and the truck, and also Wi-Fi to connect to the various parts of this system to make sure everything works. It doesn't fully work on the smartphone yet. Everyone else who's had this system installed is saying the same thing. There's obviously a software update that needs to come. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. And if you really liked the video, why not leave us a super thanks? It's really easy to do, and everything you do send our way goes towards helping us make great content. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to this channel and our main channel, Twitter at Sport Evolved, and give the bell a gentle ding so that you know when our next video goes live. And before I go, do check out our regular sponsors. They really make our channel grow, and they help support the channel's growth, especially in a very difficult time like now. Thanks on behalf of the entire crew go out to everybody who makes this channel possible. That includes everyone who supports us on Patreon and YouTube, as well as those of you who just watch and share the videos. If you are a supporter at the charged up level, you will see your name right here on my right hand side, and if you have joined and your name's not there, we're sorry. We've been really busy this week, and so we haven't rendered the list as regularly as we would like. If you are a supporter at the charged up level, you'll see your name, as I said, right there. But thanks to our self-driving tier supporters, Mike Weeder, Patrick Boyarsky, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tazza in the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Ascenta and Jim Burness. And of course, super out of this world thanks to our Starman level supporters, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerbeck, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Burrowbridge, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and last but not least, the wonderful Ian. If you'd like to be part of that list and not have me read two parts of the script out the same, one after the other, you probably didn't notice, and now I've drawn attention to it. I screwed up the script. What can I say? It's a Sunday. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by following the links below to Patreon and YouTube, or you can send us Bitcoin, Ko-fi, or check out our cool swag store. I will be back next week with another Sunday Musing. I think this one will be about bikes, electric bicycles. I think that's next Sunday's Musing. And yes, we plan things ahead. Shock horror. We've been able to start planning things ahead. I know that some of you find that frustrating, and some of you would rather we just made content when things happen, but the more people we have, the harder it is to make that happen. So thanks for being patient, and as always, keep evolving.